From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
And I am Thilina Udayaratna. For starters, we take a look at tonight's top stories.
Parliamentarian Ashok Abeysingha summoned before the CID. A bank collection on suitable lands owned by state institutions for cultivation. Steps taken to repatriate Sri Lankans in Kuwait detention camps and security housing facilities. Japan marks the 10th year anniversary of the Fukushima nuclear disaster.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. Hindus throughout the world celebrate Mahashivaratri Day today. Special religious activities and rites were held throughout the day at Kovils dedicated to Lord Shiva to mark Mahashivaratri. Mahashivaratri is a major festival in Hinduism and marks the remembrance of overcoming darkness and ignorance in life and the world. The festival is celebrated annually in honor of God Shiva. Mahashivaratri is considered as the day when God Shiva made both God Brahma and God Vishnu realize over his superiority. During the Mahashivaratri period, devotees commence fasting while spending the night in kovils dedicated to God Shiva. Accordingly, 4 special puja will be held at Nagaleswaram, Munneswaram, Koneshwaram and Kediswaram kovils in dedication to Lord Shiva. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa wished as the spirit of light illuminate the life of Hindu devotees, the blessings of Lord Shiva bestow upon the people to achieve the objectives of establishing peace, reconciliation and happiness in the society. The President conveyed his wishes while issuing a message to mark Mahashivaratri Day and said that in the previous year the Hindu devotees were compelled to observe and celebrate Mahashivaratri Day adhering to health guidelines due to COVID-19 pandemic. In his message, he said that even though there is some relaxation of certain restrictions, he believes that they will celebrate Mahashivaratri Day this time too, adhering to health guidelines as they did last year. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, while conveying his message, said that all the hopes of a prosperous future of the Hindu devotees be fulfilled by the light of the lamps lit on the day of Mahashivaratri. Issuing a message marking the Mahashivaratri Day, the Prime Minister said that he trusts that the pure and holy fast of the Hindu devotees will be blessed by Lord Shiva and that all that is good and pure will come to pass. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that Mahashivaratri Day, which signifies a holy day to guide the humanity towards reconciliation and coexistence, defines tranquility among the human race. The opposition leader in his message wished for a meaningful Mahashivaratri Day for peace and reconciliation of Hindu devotees across the world.
The 22nd anniversary of the Board of Young Entrepreneurs of Sri Lanka was held under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in Colombo yesterday. During the ceremony, the Prime Minister said that it is a great honor to witness the majority of young entrepreneurs in the national attire. During the ceremony, Saranga Gunawardena was appointed as the new chairman of the Board of Young Entrepreneurs of Sri Lanka. State Minister Kanchana Wijesekara, Shehan Semasinghe and Dayasiri Jayasekara, Secretary of Defence retired General Kamal Gunaratne and Sri Lanka Army Commander General Shavendra Silva were present at this occasion. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that with the introduction of the open economic system in the country in 1977, the then business community was severely affected following the competition that was created through the economic system. Those who engage in competitive ventures succeed within the open economic system. However, the country lost many factors with the introduction of this economic system. Under such circumstances, leading businessmen in Colombo 22 years ago arrived at the decision to establish a collective of businessmen with ethics. Accordingly, the existing business community has a vision to work with cooperation to improve the businesses instead of competition. He added that the government has had its confidence and respect on the Board of Young Entrepreneurs of Sri Lanka in achieving these objectives. Most of the businessmen never failed to contribute towards the government and the society with their earnings and assisted in social services activities. The Premier said that the then businessmen made numerous donations for the country without any selfish objectives, but with the compassion and kindness towards the country and its people. He added that existing businesses are also carrying out public welfare activities, but with the ambition to improve their branding and to expand their businesses.
The epidemiology unit says that 752,098 persons have been vaccinated under National COVID-19 Immunization Program. The vaccination program was carried out for the 42nd day today. Close to 8,323 persons were vaccinated yesterday. The program to administer COVID-19 vaccine for the people in Colombo municipality limits was observed by Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa. The Prime Minister arrived at the Narayanpeta Abeysingha to observe the vaccination program. Around 1,200 have been vaccinated under the program. It was organized in accordance to a request made by Colombo Municipal Councillors Venerable Galagama Dhammaransithera, Dr. Pradeep Karyavasam and Manori Vikramasinghe. Chief Sanganayaka, Western Province and Chief Incumbent of Narayanpeta Abeysingha, Venerable Muruthettuwe Anandathera and Chairman of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, were present at this occasion. The number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country has reached up to 83,561. It is a percentage of 96.22. Another 2,767 patients are currently undergoing treatment. A total of 4,614 recoveries have been recorded since the beginning of this month. 351 COVID-19 recoveries were reported in the country today. Another 158 COVID-19 patients have been identified in the country today. 154 out of them have been detected as close contacts to the Paliagada COVID cluster, while the rest have been reported from the prisons cluster. 4 COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. The victims were residents of Colombo 14, Colombo 9, Alavathugoda and Nugegoda. They are in the ages of 23, 57, 74 and 77.
Samagi Janabalawegaya parliamentarian Ashok Abeysingha was summoned to the Criminal Investigation Department today to record a statement over an inquiry on a statement made by him while linking the president to the Easter Sunday attacks. The relevant complaint was lodged by a group of backbench parliamentarians of the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna. The Criminal Investigation Department summoned parliamentarian Ashok Abeysingha on 2 previous occasions to record the statement. However, one of the occasions had been passed up while the parliamentarian's attorney had appeared on behalf of him on the other occasion. Accordingly, the CID recorded a statement from MP Abeysingha for a period of 5 hours.
Minister Chamal Rajapaksa says a bank collection should be prepared on suitable state-owned lands for cultivation. The minister instructed relevant officials to prepare a suitable methodology to provide those lands for farmers or farmlands. The relevant decision to set up a bank collection was reached at the meeting of the National Coordinating Subcommittee for Agriculture and Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Alleviation. Chairman of the subcommittee is Minister Chamal Rajapaksa. Officials of the Ministries of Irrigation, Wildlife, Agriculture, Lands, Environmental and Plantation are included in this subcommittee. This program also contributes towards the national policy to transform Sri Lanka into a self-sufficient nation under the Vistas of Prosperity policy statement. Minister Mahinda Amaravira and State Ministers Shashendra Rajapaksa, Siripala Gamlath, Anuradha Jayaratne, Vimalavira Disanayaka, Kanaka Herath, Arundika Fernando and Janaka Vakumbara and relevant ministry secretaries were present at this occasion.
Steps have been taken to repatriate Sri Lankans in Kuwait who are being housed in temporary detention facilities and security housing facilities at the Sri Lankan embassy with the mediation of the government. Accordingly, the first batch of 100 stranded workers returned to the country recently. The batch of 100 workers who arrived in the country in a flight from Kuwait Jazeera Airways were directed to quarantine centres upon their arrival. The repatriation process was initiated based on the request made by Ministers Prasanna Ranatunga and Namal Rajapaksa from the President and the Prime Minister. According to the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Kuwait, 148 Sri Lankans are housed at the detention centres in Kuwait, 160 Sri Lankans at immigration detention centres and another 250 at police stations. Around 6,000 Sri Lankans have registered with the embassy to return to Sri Lanka, and 3,221 of them have already returned to the country. So far, around 80,000 Sri Lankan migrant workers have been repatriated from many foreign countries. The Ministry of Tourism has indicated that the majority of the repatriated workers are from Middle Eastern countries.
In the meantime, Director General of Credit Information Bureau of Sri Lanka, Nandi Anthony, says that financial institutions not only consider the report of the Credit Information Bureau, but other information as well during the credit lending process. He emphasized that the notion which indicates that financial institutions only consider the report of the Credit Information Bureau when lending credits is false and baseless. Credit Information Bureau of Sri Lanka consists of information relevant to credit grants of institutions regulated through the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The Bureau carries out the duties in providing information related to credit payments, delays and payment failures. The government has informed credit lending institutions not to reach decisions on credit grants solely based on the report.
Well, that's a wrap on tonight's Rupavahini English News. Join us once again tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Have a pleasant night.